Please pause for the moment of silence. Please stand for the pledges. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now for the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
It is a first in history, the decision to withdraw the U.S. from a major agreement that has environmentalists upset.
It's election day today, and I am here with Mr. Anderson to tell you everything you need to know about the ballot.
And on the prowl, the Dallas Cowboys got a surprise intruder last night's game against the New York Giants.
We have your top stories in this week's edition of Tech Talk coming up on NHSTV Live.
We begin this Tuesday morning with the announcement that many saw coming. President Trump has announced that the U.S. will withdraw from the landmark 2015 Paris Climate Agreement. Trump announced his plans of withdrawal back in 2017, but agreement rules prevented any country from pulling out in the first 3 years after its ratification back in 2016, signed by then Secretary of State John Kerry. The United States is the first country to pull out of the deal. Nearly 200 nations signed the climate deal back in 2015, in which each country provides its own goals to curb emissions of heat-trapping gases that led to climate change. The plans for U.S. to withdraw isn't complete until the day after the 2020 election.
If you didn't already know, today is Election Day. NHSTV reporter Jay Cruz is with Coach Anderson to give us more insight on what we're actually voting for. Jay?
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Mr. Anderson. Now, can you tell us a little bit about what kids can expect to be on the ballot?
There's 10 state propositions. One of them includes state income tax. Be careful with the wording on that one because you need to know how to vote for that specific proposition. That's Proposition 4. There's also one for cancer research. And then there's local elections that I encourage you to look online at your county websites and get the information from there, specifically what will be on your voting ballot.
Now, why do you think it's important for kids to be interested in the voting process for not just the presidential election, but even ones that are like statewide or even city-wise?
So I voted today on a bond for Keller ISD for my kids, which is important to me. For kids, there's one for school funds and the propositions, so giving more funds to school, the availability of the funds to school, which I believe is Proposition 8, so it affects us directly, and you should go out and vote. And don't be nervous about voting because it's your right and you should exercise it.
Well, you've heard it here, guys. If you are interested in voting, it is a way to voice your opinion and have a way to talk about various issues that is important to you. Back to you, anchors.
Thanks, Jay. Students, if you are able to, go out and vote. Yesterday, our AP Environmental Science students took a field trip to the Fort Worth Zoo. In environmental science, you learn about many endangered species and what human impacts have caused them to struggle. This field trip was a perfect experience to get out of the classroom to see some amazing animals that we don't get to see every day. After the zoo, students got the opportunity to get their hands dirty. They took a short trip to the Trinity Park to run water and soil tests by putting tablets of phosphorus, phosphate, and nitrogen with the samples and watched to see what color the substance changed to retrieve the relevant levels.
Now from fauna to flora, horticulture students were working hard both in the greenhouse and the classroom last week doing some long-term preparation for their spring plant sale. Some of their time was spent practicing the assembly of arrangements for sale, and the rest of it was spent outside in the greenhouse, both watering plants and propagating them, which is the process of dividing a plant in half in order to create a new one. Moving on, Cooper is back to tell us about the new Apple product that we are all raving about. Now it's time for this week's edition of Tech Talk.
One of Apple's most popular products has gotten an update. You guessed it, AirPod Pros. The AirPod Pros come with advanced noise cancellation technology, flexible ear tips to better fit the user's ears, and a transparency mode, which lets customers listen to music while still hearing the surrounding environment. Another feature includes audio sharing, which allows users to sync up with a second pair of AirPods. Personally, I think these AirPods are really cool and there's a lot of cool features, but I'm not sure it's worth the price. The IKEA Smart Home is taking it up a notch with the introduction of scenes. Scenes are event-based commands that affect multiple different smart devices. For example, IKEA showcased TV time, which could lower the blinds, turn up the speakers, and dim the lights all at once. Currently, these scenes could be voice-activated via Alexa or Siri, but in the future, IKEA hopes to make it possible with the press of a button, right from your couch. Also, the annual Samsung Developer Conference happened last Tuesday, releasing a mobile device with a clamshell form factor. Samsung didn't provide too many details on the concept, but a Samsung spokesperson confirmed it is working on advancing new foldable form factors and bringing a new foldable device to market. But this concept has shown many challenges to make it actually work. Honestly, I'm not really sure what the benefit is of a foldable phone, but I'm interested to see where it goes. What do you guys think? Will Samsung be actually able to pull it off? That's all I got for you guys on this week's edition of Tech Talk.
The CMP Academy, along with the STEM Academy, are now accepting applications for next year. Here's an example for what you can do in the CMP Academy.
In the CMP Academy, we have graphic design, photography, and audio-video production.
You can be a photographer, you can go into journalism.
You can be an editor, a graphic designer, a producer, a news anchor.
In the CMP Academy, you can get Adobe Certified Associate, so you can get certified in Adobe Premiere, Adobe Illustrator, and Adobe Photoshop.
In the CMP Academy, we learn a lot about being professional, a lot about leadership, and working with other people. The reason that students should come into the CMP Academy is because it's just a huge learning experience that you don't get anywhere else. It has been the highlight of my high school career.
If you are interested in joining the Creative Media Production Academy next school year, this is your chance. We'd love to have you as a staff member at NHSTV, or you can be a graphic designer, on the yearbook staff, even as a commercial photographer. You must be a current freshman or sophomore. To apply, go to www.nisttx.org/CTE. Click on Departments and then CTE.
Today's trivia question for National French Week is who are Thierry Henry and Zinedine Zidane? The first student to go see Miss White in room 604 and answers correctly will win a prize. Now it's time to tell you guys something you don't know on this week's TikTok Tuesday. But first, don't forget to keep submitting your TikToks to our Instagram at NHS_TV to be featured on our show.
Change my mind. Oh.
The Dallas Cowboys got a surprise visit from a four-legged fan at last night's football game against the New York Giants.
So we've gone from seeing ghosts to black cats now on Monday Night Football in MetLife.
The crowd was in a frenzy as the Cats strolled onto the field, preparing for a touchdown 6 minutes into the second quarter.
Seems like the Cat was bad luck for the New York Giants as they lost to the Cowboys with an ending score of 37-18.
Tune into tomorrow's show to hear some of your teachers' embarrassing moments.
Thanks for watching, Texans. This has been NHSTV Live.